this is John Kvale, and this is your March 2021 Financial Planning Podcast Review, monthly review. And we're going to keep this one short because near the end of the quarter, we have a lot going on. But I did want to review some of the items we talked about in March. Those of you that are driving down the road, we do this in a listen and talk kind of mode. So if you can just listen, I will describe everything. But keep your hands on the wheel. Don't drive off the road. I always say that. I always get a kick out of it. I'm maybe laughing at myself here. Okay. Those of you that are listening, I am going to the first link to the first post that I wanted to talk about, and that is why it's a good idea to have your credit report run. Hat tip DK for mentioning this. And basically, I'm going to put this up as an annual review. It's really good at least once a year to have your credit report reviewed. That's just to make sure that there's not a barnacle. That's a funky word that I thought of, attached to your credit report. What it will eventually do is could potentially cause you to have more expenses on things like your automobile insurances, your homeowners insurances. They deem you as a high risk. Secondly, and this is kind of a preview of what's coming in the newsletter, which also has a video, hence the shorter version, and that is those of you that are driving down the road, I'm going to the second link of a short abbreviated post, which is much longer in the newsletter as mentioned, and it's about Social Security. If you have not taken your Social Security, whether you believe that Social Security is going to be around or not, it's a good idea for you to open up your Social Security account at the SSA.gov website and make sure that you're getting the credits for that hard-earned money. Worst thing that could happen is you not get credits for your hard-earned money, and when there's a distant gap, it's harder to get your credits fixed up. Okay, I'm moving on to the next item, and that is a little bit more complicated, and that is, I'll go briefly over this, but I've got a big chart, and this is the stimulus check update. Really pretty straightforward. The chart's rather big, and for those of you that are listening, I'm just seeing checkpoint 1, but there's basically 3 checkpoints. Here's the most important thing that I want everybody to take from this stimulus check. This is $1,400. The phase out is extremely fast. So 75,000, you get it. 80,000, you don't. 150 joint, you get it. 160, you don't. It's gone. So there's a little bit of planning that you can do by looking at your 2019, your 2020, or your 2021 returns. If any of those fall under the threshold, you'll get it. But if you mess up and have them all over the threshold, well, which is a nice problem, a real world problem to have, you're not going to get it. Really, this applies to somebody who's right on the edge. So just take note, Fast Cliff, and I'm moving on down Fast Cliff. Here's checkpoint number 2, and that's the 2020, and then checkpoint number 3. Okay. This is, I really was kind of the first to this. I'm going on to the capital market comments. I'm trying to keep this short, and so I'm moving at a pretty good speed. We are going to have some outlandish economic numbers printing in the next 3, 4, 5 months. I'm very interested to see what the headlines are, but what it could lead to is some funny headlines. And that's like gross GDP numbers, CPI numbers, big GDP, big CPI numbers. We dropped off the cliff as the pandemic hit last year, and now we've reflated, and we have very low comparables to compare for last year, and the economy is growing. So it's going to be very interesting to see. There's just going to be some jaw-dropping economic reports. And I've got those of you that are in listen-only mode, I've got a GDP graph from Fed, St. Louis Fed, that shows how much we dropped off and then we're bouncing back. Well, what's going to happen is as we start bouncing back, we'll print against those numbers. Like we made a really bad grade last year and we're making an okay grade this year. It's going to look pretty good. All right, in an effort to try and keep it short, I have scrolled all the way back to the very top of this. I'll put this up on the video for the very end of the month. I want to thank all of you for your time. It's always a pleasure. And I hope you enjoy us digging a little bit deeper verbally and with a small mugshot. So have a great day. Thanks.